Father, the King of my fatherland, may you live long, sir. Greetings to everyone here and congratulations to TEDxOkene. My assignment here today is very simple. Building capacity in your area of interests. As a young child, I grew up in Okene here. I'm a proud product of Ebira land. And I'm a proud Ebira daughter that anywhere I am in the world, the first thing I want to be recognized as is an Ebira girl. That Ebira girl that had primary school in Okene, secondary school still in Kogi State, and I had to just move out very slightly out of Kogi to Kwara State for my higher institution. Everything I learned, if you have read that book, all I know today, I learned in kindergarten. Those of you who read that book will agree with me that we start building our dreams from the moment we're born and from the minute we enter the primary school. Public speaking is my area of interest, and I've always had interest in public speaking as a child who grew up in a family with a father who was an orator and a mother who was also a vocal person. I grew up and attended functions with my father, who would attend events. And when we get to the events, we get to the venue, he just walks in unassumedly. But before we leave the venue, everyone is running after him. You did well, sir. Thank you so much. You know, they followed us with a lot of souvenirs. And I said I have to grow up to be like my father. So I've always had passion for public speaking. And you know what? I've also wanted to be a rich and famous woman. As a child, I knew I was going to be rich and famous. So I was focused and I worked towards that from the very minute I had opportunity to speak. I know how very well our parents, especially in the African clime, hold education, formal education. So I took my studies seriously. I was a mathematician and I went ahead to the university to earn myself a degree in computer science and mathematics department, and I worked as an IT personnel with Unity Bank for 6 years. But in those 6 years, I knew I was just working for the money. And I was doing a profession, I was practicing a profession as a system analyst in the IT department of Unity Bank then. I was in charge of alert. When people transact and we're not getting alert, I was being called, I was being insulted, I was being bullied. I could be called out of my house on a Saturday to go restart a server. So all this I was doing, I knew I was just working. But you know what? I never let my passion for public speaking die. So I was developing myself. I would read books on public speaking. I would go out for tips on public speaking. I got myself mentors. The likes of Dr. Jerry had an event several years ago, about 17 years ago, and then his MC was yet to arrive. And I said, Doctor, I could do this. You know, I got this. I was the first person to grab microphone at friends' birthday parties. I used to be the first person in family functions to take over the microphone affairs because I know deep down in me, this is something I have passion for. So I will pick it and then I will do a great job. And I wait to listen to criticisms after every function. I call on people who had given me jobs to say, I hope you were pleased with my presentation. And most often than not, before I place the call across, they usually place the calls to say, thank you for doing so well. Thank you for anchoring the event so perfectly. So I knew it was a place for me. So I took no chances in preparing myself and waiting for just opportunity to come. Because I don't believe in such thing called lucky. I just feel it's preparation that makes opportunity, and then you're where you want to be. That takes you from where you used to be to where you want to be in life. And that's why I went ahead to do an online course on public speaking in one of the greatest universities in the world today, the Harvard. And then I'm a certified public speaker. I also had myself some mentors, the likes of Eugenia. You see me attending the master classes. And you know, mentees who look up to me will see me in these programs and will be wondering what I'm doing there. I said, no, you need to keep building. You need to keep developing yourself. And just one day, an inauguration for an executive of a state was proposed. And I saw the chairman of the inauguration committee, who happens to be a family friend, someone well known to me. And I played the call across. I said, sir, I'm also an MC. I see you're in charge of this event. I could be one of the anchors. And he said, oh, no problem. Oh, Atika, I thought you're in the bank. I said, yes, I'm still with the services of the bank, but I do well in public speaking as well. And he gave me a chance. And that's one of the things I want to talk about today. Knock at every door. When you knock and no one is answering, try to open. Not all closed doors are actually locked. So I take my chances. I'm not a desperate person, but I'm a go-getter. I always ensure that whatever I want, I do everything possible to get there. My big brother talked about relationship. That's what relationship does. I try to keep relationship. I know I have a very great interpersonal relationship skills, and I don't look down on people because you never know who might be of help to you tomorrow. So I approached this young man, and he gave me, blindly, he trusted me and gave me a big stage. So my big stage, I started big, and it's not bad. No one should tell you you need to crawl before you can walk. I've seen kids, babies who never crawled, but they started running. They were sitting, and their parents kept wondering, when will this child crawl? When will this child crawl? And such babies never got to crawl. They started walking. They skipped that step. So I started with a big stage. I anchored the inauguration of the governor. I was on live television. I was in front of a crowd of 6,000 capacity filled stadium. And I gave it my all. Where did I get the experience from? From consistent practice. I stand in front of my mirror. I think about how the people I want to be like behave in front of the audience, and I look at my mirror as my audience. And then you see me practicing. And it might interest you to know that I have actually, as a child, stood in front of a mirror to practice and pretended to myself that I was speaking in front of the CNC of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And today I can proudly tell you that I've anchored well over 6 events with the CNC present, and it was a dream come true. So dare to dream. If you have a passion, if you have an area of interest, don't let anyone deter you. Don't let anyone, those little voices in your mind telling you you can't do it. You can actually do what you want to do, and you can be where you want to be. And on your way to achieving greatness in life, I always tell people, you need to volunteer. You need to start from somewhere. There were days where I used to be the volunteering MC. I just call family and friends and say, for this function, I'm going to be one of the co-MCs. Pro bonos. I was doing all that for family functions, for fun fairs, for events that I knew organizers, until today, when I'm being paid in 7 digits. I don't earn less than 7 digits for any event at all today. Because I have built the capacity, and I believe in myself, I believe in my potentials, and I believe in what I can bring to the table. So I never had to deal with the straight fright. I never had to deal with the issue of dignitaries at functions or being bullied by a co-MC, because I started working with the biggest names in the industry. I didn't start from the bottom. I'm here to tell you that today you can actually start from the top. So long as you have prepared yourself and you have built capacity in that particular area you have chosen as an area of interest. I studied computer science. I'm still a system analyst. I was one of the best SQL software developers in my department. My boss nearly cried, but you know what I did? I went and anchored an inauguration of an executive governor of a state. At the time, my salary with the bank annually was 1.7 million naira. And I was paid for that job. I was paid 2 million naira for that job. You know what I did? I go back to the office on Monday and tendered resignation without calling any friend or family. And I said, this is my calling. This got me the fame I've always wanted. I went on Facebook. I was trending. I was live on Facebook. I went on Instagram. I was trending. I went to Kogi Affairs. I was trending. And then I had some money in my bank accounts. And I said, you know what? This is where I've always wanted to be. So I took a bold step. I didn't even tell anyone. I went ahead and tendered my resignation. And today, I can tell you categorically that it has gotten better by the day. Everywhere I find myself, I tell people, according to Dr. Ashraf, your passion, doing that which you're not passionate about, can actually take you to where your passion could actually be driving you to where your passion is. Because I am an assistant on communication and information as well as logistics, to a serving minister today who I met at an event. That's relationship. I met her at an event. She was wild. I was from Kogi State like her. Her mom was Ebira at the time. And, you know, we just hugged and we exchanged contacts. And she loved the way I spoke. And today, you can call me an accidental civil servant. I'm a public servant. So I am being paid salary as a public servant, which, by the way, was earned by what I had passion for. And I walk into anywhere. I tell you what it does to you. When you're good at what you do, everyone respects you. You do what you have to do on your feet. Be upright at all times. Don't be found wanting. I can knock at any door. The hardest door in the country today is the Aso Rock Villa. You need to pass through a series of clearance before you get it. But I tell people, I have the most powerful job in the world today, as far as the world is concerned. Public speaking. It takes you places. People see you and respect you. They don't need to know your background. They don't need to know the minute you come to the stage, you command respect. And the way you anchor your events speaks a lot about your background. So they already have respect for you. I go to Presidential Villa today. I don't need clearance. I don't have a villa tag. But the minute I get to the gate, you hear the SSS at the gate. Oh, MC expensive. Even when I'm not anchoring, they just assume I am the speaker for today. Oh, I'm in charge of the microphone. So before asking for my clearance, they already said, oh, MC, you're late, you're late, you're late. You need to start getting in. So